Life was hard for the past few years. My parents got divorced and my brother got into an accident. I didn't know what to do. I felt miserable. And then all of a sudden, I had depression. I was depressed. The sadness penetrated my head. I was disappointed of myself. I can't even focus on one thing without getting reminded that I am a failure. So then, I decided to end my life. I want the sadness to end. I want to rest forever. Because just like everyone else, I also get tired.
Every day is a war between my mind and my body. I feel like everyone is looking at me and judging me. I cannot help not to be anxious in everything that I do. I cannot even handle myself. I'm always afraid of what could go wrong. I just want to isolate myself from this world. I am nothing and I was always nothing.
Every time I look in the mirror, I always ask myself, why am I fat? I didn't know why I'm experiencing this right now, but all I know, everything ends up here. I also experience depression when it comes to myself because I have insecurities and doubt and thinking that I am enough. I can show my confidence because I'm getting frightened.
Bulimia became a sort of coping mechanism for me. It ended up not being so much about food as it did about control. I am dealing with a lot of stress in high school. There are things in my life that I'm not being able to manage. I'd binge and get a rush from eating so much food. Then I'd get an even bigger, better rush after getting rid of it.
This disorder causes me to display a pattern of aggressive and violent behavior, and I have problems in following the rules. It also causes me to harm animals, people, and objects around me.
When I was in this situation, I felt like the whole world was against me. I was questioning my existence because I was no one. I don't deserve to live. So I thought of doing this to myself. But still, I didn't find my happiness. I regretted, yes, but I'm sure I learned something.
Whenever I feel depressed, I can't help but to constantly think about being involved in these risky sexual behaviors because it distracts me from being stressed, and whenever someone asks me to do it, I can't control myself no matter how hard I try because that's the only thing that makes me feel at ease.
No one ever plans to become addicted. There are countless reasons why someone would try a substance or abuse. Some are driven by curiosity and peer pressure, while others are looking for a way to relieve stress. Substance, especially alcohol, help me a lot. There are times that I am down and all I have to do is to drink and drink and drink until all the pain is gone. I tried different kind of addiction, including some things that is illegal. But I realize it is not the alcohol who solve your problem. It is you who will solve it. With the help of your friends and relatives, you will be able to surpass its struggles. Think of the best way to eliminate substance in your life.
I tend to hurt other people physically. I am not really aware of this and I usually don't feel sorry for doing so. It is because of my past experiences and my environment that caused me to be like this.
As a PRO in our classroom, it is my duty to inform my classmates the essential information about mental health. I could give out flyers and provide talks in small groups because as little as it may seem, it will go a long way. The message that I have conveyed is to not be locked up within the four walls of our classroom, but to be shared with the world as well.
Mental health covers a broad spectrum of complex illnesses and emotions. As a teenager in this generation, mental health is one of the biggest issues these days, especially for the millennials. Some of them are having problem with this. We can see them being happy, but deep inside they're fighting their own battles, like depression, stress, and anxiety. Mental disorder is not always a cut and dry diagnosis or something that goes away when we practice self-care.
If we feel happy, we feel like we're floating in the air. If we feel sad, we're like stumbled with heavy stones because of what we're feeling. If we feel pain because we got hurt, just like when we experience depression, we can just sit there and relax. We have deep emotions even though it is not really evident outside. We are happy inside but broken outside. And if this is the case, we can say that mental health is related to emotions.
Our entire mental health is dependent on the emotions that we feel. It has a cause and effect impact in our life and could either result to positive ones or the latter. Emotions play a vital role in our everyday lives, and learning to acknowledge it would make us understand ourselves better. There are the positive emotions that could necessarily lead to a healthy mental health, and negative emotions that tend to have negative setbacks in our life. That's what makes our emotions related to our mental health.
How can I advocate mental health awareness? In advocating mental health awareness, we should be careful of our words. Some ways in advocating are sharing our opinions, becoming a volunteer, and being an ambassador. I can also help by campaigning and supporting different organizations with the same goal and mission.
It is important to promote both mental health and well-being because it can lead to enjoyment of life. Promoting it helps every individual in coping with stress and sadness or other mental illness. We need not to only acknowledge our own emotions but others as well. This will promote better understanding and acceptance in our society. It provides us important aspects we should give importance and be aware of, especially when interacting with other people.
Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. Well-being is a positive outcome that is meaningful for people and for many sectors of society because it tells us that people perceive that their lives are going well. Emotions or feelings are a normal and important part of our lives. Negative emotions have a very important role to play in our lives also, as do as positive ones.
As Angelinian, I would be able to advocate here in our school and spread important information about mental health. In advocating mental health, we should share our opinions, becoming a volunteer, and being an ambassador, and by putting up banners, by campaigning, working with student council, and supporting different organizations with the same goal and mission.
To actively engage myself with activities in the community, I would work hand in hand with the barangay officers to disseminate vital information people should know about. We would create seminars and symposium to further this advocacy, going with other officers and creating smaller organizations to instill the fundamentals of mental hygiene to reach bigger groups would be one of our main goals.
I. We are important.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired